Hey guys, what is up? So it is time for my How to Get Away with Murder live chat. And well, I have a lot of things to say today. And unfortunately, they're not good things about this show because last night's episode was just insane and not in a good way, not in a like, oh my god, the reveals are so shocking, absolutely loved it way, just not good. So if you're here in the room, go ahead and say hello so I can give you a shout out. I'm very interested to see what you guys thought about the episode. I did live tweet during the episode last night. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's Kelly_TV, Kellie. So do that if you want to know my thoughts about this show and future shows that I cover here and just life in general. Hello to Michael, Brad, Madeline, Christian, Haley, Curie. Thank you guys so much for being here. So I will start off by saying if you liked the big reveals, because it was kind of like two reveals that happened last night, that's cool, and I have no problem with you stating that in the comments if you did. I was just doing a search last night and today on Twitter, and it seemed like most people were very disgusted. I was very disgusted by the reveals that we got. Hi, Afonso. Hi, Itachi. Hey, Hilda. Hey, Amir. Doja. Thank you guys so much for being here. T, what's up? So, the episode that we had before this one was a couple weeks ago. They definitely hinted at some sort of incest between Sam and his sister. I mentioned that in the last live chat. A lot of you guys told me that was probably not going to happen, which that's okay because I didn't want it to happen. But, you know, there were a lot of people saying this is not going to happen. They're not going to go there. Unfortunately, they went there, and not only did they go there, they had to come up with this crazy storyline that they also had a child from their incest who is a character that we've known since the very beginning, which is Frank, and all of it is just ridiculous, and I don't know what Pete and everyone are thinking here. Are they just basically like, we just want to come up with something super shocking? I mean, here's the thing. You can have a very compelling show that's got like murders and crime and, you know, crazy stuff and have crazy things happen, and it makes sense and it's not silly just for shock value. A great example of that is the show Ozark, which I'm just starting season 3, so I'm not completely finished with what's out there right now, but like that show is done so well, and I don't understand what happened with this show where it got off track. I mean, they've definitely had some weird things going on with the whole, is Wes dead or does he have a twin or whatever that is, but the past couple of years this has been going downhill. I'm sorry. It just really has. I just have to be honest here. And for me, this is definitely like a new low that's like super low. So I don't see how they can redeem themselves, at least in my eyes, with what happened last night. We only have 2 episodes left. There's just so much crap going on and so many things that need to be resolved. And now we have this thrown at us. And I just think it's so silly. It definitely reminds me of a storyline from Pretty Little Liars, which I tweeted last night. I hate to keep bringing up that show because I don't like that show. And it's, you know, pretty ridiculous that an adult show like How to Get Away with Murder would be anything like the disaster that was Pretty Little Liars, which was a teen show, basically. At least it started that way. I'm gonna go to some of your guys' comments and say hello to you guys as well. Hello to Aaron. Hi, Ralph. It looks like from what you guys are saying, you didn't like it. So, yeah. Me either, to say the least. We did see from the previews for next week that Laurel is returning. Not a huge surprise because we knew that her character would be coming back. I don't really care, honestly. Hilda says you don't know why you're surprised that Pete would disappoint you. I mean, I think the show had some really good moments throughout the years, and I definitely think the first season was excellent, and I think they started off strong. And it's not unlike a show to kind of get worse as seasons progress. But I just feel like we didn't need to go here with this. We didn't need to go here with them having an incestual relationship, and we really didn't need to go here with them being Frank's parents. It's just disgusting to me, and I just don't see the point in it. Maybe some of you do, and if you feel like, you know, this was justified, or if you feel like the show went in a good way, I would like, did that and it makes sense or whatever. I would like to hear what you guys think if you liked it. Honestly, I'm being totally honest here. Madeline said the episode was so boring until the last 10 minutes. You're interested in what Connor's new deal is. Yes, we also have where he signs, I guess he's going to have to betray Annalise once again with this new deal. I also don't love Hannah being like the mastermind villain because, she's someone who's been a background character on the show, but she's someone who also we don't really care about. Why is she all of a sudden like a mastermind player in this show? I'm just, but I don't know. Like, I agree that this episode was so freaking boring. When you have 3 episodes left, and you're going to throw out, not only are you going to, I'm not even going to talk about the incest. I'm talking about before we got to that, this episode was putting me to sleep. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is the final season of this show. And this is so boring. Like, I was like, looking at my phone. And then they throw out this garbage about incest, this garbage about Frank being Sam and Hannah's son. I think it's just trash. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I think it's awful. I have not heard how long the finale will be. With the way things are going, it feels like there's a lot of things that are just not going to get resolved because now we have all of this mess, Okay, I'm going to read some more of your comments. T says no to Laurel. What a bummer. Yeah, Laurel's coming back. I mean, I guess we need to see her again. I don't know. Does anyone care? I don't know. Megan says they're throwing too much in now. Absolutely. Michael says the first 2 seasons are amazing. Everything after that goes from medium to plain bad. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're setting us up here for a Dexter type finale. If you haven't seen that show, basically it was a pretty decent show. Started kind of going downhill, had some good moments, and then the last season was just complete trash, and the finale was complete trash. And I feel like we're going into a complete trash finale. They're going to try to say something like Wes never died. Then we have all this incest nonsense. I feel like we're throwing this show in the garbage. And that's like really, like, how sad is that? William says Hannah and Sam being a thing just disgusts you so bad. Like, it can't like it because it's so gross. Absolutely. Hilda says, wonder what side Laurel is going to play, seeing as the K2 are testifying against Annalise. I don't know. Does anyone even care? I'm not sure I even care what she's going to do at this point. Itachi says you want Oliver to be the mastermind. Now that would be a real shocker. Plus, you can't stand Oliver. Yeah, I've always been on team Oliver being a bad guy. I'm so about that. I wish that would happen. But again, we have 2 episodes left. Haley says you feel like there's been so much dead space. Now that there's 2 episodes left, they have way too much to answer. Way too much to answer, and then throwing in all of this stuff. So I guess from everything I've read about last night's episode, this was a plan all along that they've kind of been throwing in hints or whatever. So it was planned that Sam and Hannah had, what do you even call it? An inappropriate relationship, and that Sam and Hannah were Frank's dad. No, Frank's parents. What the heck? So I guess it's been planned all along. It's not like some last-ditch effort to like go out on a big note, like a big shocking note for the end of the show. I don't know. Ralph says you had that creeping feeling throughout the episode that Nate was going to be taken out by the FBI every time someone knocks on the door. Scary. So yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that Nate's going to die before we can wrap up this show, which I could definitely see happening. I know there was a lot of speculation also on Twitter last night from people thinking he was going to die in this episode. But even if he did, I'm not sure how much I would have cared at this point. I've just got to be honest here. Michael says you feel like you don't care about anything that's happening. It's weird because you're always invested, but you just don't care about anything, especially about Connor and Michaela. I feel the same way. And, again, I want to say to you guys that I did really used to love this show. So I know sometimes I will rant about a show and then people will say, well, why the heck are you watching it? Why would you keep watching it if you don't like it? And that's really not the case because I think even the first half of this season I thought was pretty good. They definitely had some good moments. Definitely I've watched other shows where I just didn't like it and I don't watch it anymore. Sometimes it shows that people love and people recommend to me and I just can't get into it and I don't keep watching it. So it's not like I'm forcing myself to watch this or I just, want to watch something I don't like. It's not that way. At this point, I've watched the whole series. I wanted to see like how it's going to end. And I kind of was concerned that it wouldn't end for me in a way that I approved of it, that I liked it. But I never thought they would go to this level of ridiculousness. Like I never thought we would get to this level. And literally, what the heck? It's got such crazy elements in it at this point. We have this person who we saw their freaking dead body, and they're going to say that Wes never died. That's happening. That's happening. And then we've got this disgusting incestual relationship resulting in the birth of one of the main characters. Okay, back to the comments. Bria says, what did Frank being Hannah and Sam's son have to do with Annalise's case? Because they're going to try to paint Hannah as being like some scorned lover or something. I forgot how this is all going to work out, and I'm not explaining that the right way, but it might be a way to get Annalise off on the charges. I think if someone can explain that better, that would be awesome. Amir wants to know if Nate is going to get justice for his pops. You know, I kind of wish that would happen, even though Nate annoys me, but I don't know if we have time to get to that again, unless the final episode is 2 hours or something. So another thing that's pretty annoying, as Bria is pointing out, is where is Wes? I mean, obviously that is a huge mystery here in, the last of the show, and why has he not been back? I can't believe, I think he probably should have been mentioned when we returned this year with the show. I think we should have been talking about, he should have had some sort of presence, and he has not. It looks like he's going to be next week's episode, but everything they have done with Wes after they killed him has been a downfall for this show, in my opinion. If I missed your comment, just comment again. There's a lot of people here and a lot of comments, so that's really cool. Thank you so much, but I don't want to miss people's comments, so please comment again. Jay Ivy says, you're in the minority, but you think they waited too late to bring back Laurel? You thought the FBI agent had so much screen time in last night's episode? Yeah, even though I don't love Laurel, just because I hate the storyline with her family and all of that, as you guys know. I agree that, wow, it's taken a long time for her to come back to the show, and I don't know if that's on her, because I guess she had a baby in real life and all of that, so maybe something to do with that. I really don't know, but I totally agree. Alfonso says, back in season 3, where you're told that Hannah got Annalise to defend and take in Frank, but that's as far as the hints go. There are a couple of other hints. There was something mentioned, I feel like last week's episode, when we saw the preview for this episode, there was something that was said that insinuated incest between Hannah and Sam. I don't know what season that was in, so there was that out there. Doja says, you guess you understand why Sam kept Frank around after killing Annalise's baby, but wasn't Frank Italian? Why have I not thought about that? So I guess Frank was raised by an Italian family, but then it was like, maybe he just thought he was Italian, but that's a good point, honestly. I feel like that's some inconsistency right there. That's crazy. Okay, Jada's saying that Nate doesn't deserve justice. I get that. I totally get what you're saying. I do feel bad about what happened to his dad, though. I do feel bad. Hi, Esther. Thank you so much for being here. So, Amir's asking, do I think the whole FBI is involved, or is it just Agent Pollock or whatever her name is? Because now that's come out that she's dirty, I don't know, because I feel like the FBI, and I think I've talked about this before, the FBI is very shady in this show, but I think sometimes we view the FBI as being really shady because we forget that everyone they're investigating are seriously criminals, and we kind of maybe sometimes feel bad or feel sorry for the criminals, but basically what the FBI does for the most part is just trying to do their job because these people are criminals, when I'm talking about Annalise and company. So I don't know if we're seeing that from the right viewpoint as far as is the whole FBI shady or crooked or whatever. And I don't know. I don't know. Definitely that one guy. He definitely seems super shady, but is he? I don't know. The one guy that's like in charge. Hilda says, you're saying that Frank doesn't know Sam is his biological dad. I don't think he does. No, I don't think he knows. Jada says, why in the world would Connor and Michaela suddenly not tell each other the details of their new deal? I don't know. I feel like the second half of this season has just been bad. Bad, bad, bad. I did not like who Asher's killer was. I thought that was a huge mistake. Hi, Luke. Thank you so much for being here. So Alfonso is asking what I think about Frank and Bonnie being together, and I like it because, they showed us in this episode that they definitely had a past and that they might have been together a long time ago, but Frank broke that up, so I like it. I do like it. I mean, let's hope they don't die. I really like Frank, so. Again, if I missed your comment, just comment again. Madeline says, what was the point of randomly showing Pollock? It was so random. I don't know. I hate the fact that she killed Wes. It drives me crazy. And I'm having trouble caring about that storyline. It's very sad. Bria says, you definitely think the FBI is corrupt because they wouldn't let Michaela or Connor out or call their lawyers unless they signed another deal. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I definitely could see that. They do seem shady. To me, I will say that. They definitely do. Itachi says Nate has been irrelevant since season 3. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that he's lasted as a character for this long. I know that a lot of people don't really like him. He seems to always have a chip on his shoulder, even before what happened to his dad. He's like always angry, always in a bad mood, just not pleasant to see in this show, honestly, you know. Haley says at least the big bad, which is a PLL term, is someone who has been around since season 1 and not some random FBI agent or from Laurel's family. So I guess we're talking about Hannah. I still don't like the fact that they're going to make this woman a main villain because, again, yes, she has been around, but we don't really know her much about her. We don't really see her that much, and I kind of think it would be better to have someone. Well, I know it would be better to have someone that we actually know be the main villain. But we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, and I'm not sure if we should even care or if I should even care. But I'm sure there's some more. They've been, like, you know, insinuating on Twitter that there's going to be some, like, mind-blowing twists in the next 2 episodes. So let's see. Madeline says you don't care about him, but where's Michaela's dad? He just disappeared. Like, if he's a character, make him be a character. So he's been in this half season. He just wasn't in this episode. Never really understood what his deal is or what his relationship with Annalise is or there's some kind of drama there. Are we ever going to know, and do we need to know? I don't know. I mean, he's kind of been a pointless character so far, so is there going to be more with him that makes sense as to why we brought him into the show? I don't know, because the problem is there's so much going on. There's so many things that need to be resolved. I can't even remember how many things need to be resolved here, but yet they keep throwing brand new ideas out here. And again, we only have 2 episodes left, and even if the finale is 2 hours, it's still not that much time to answer everything that keeps coming up in these chats and some stuff we probably haven't even thought about, plus to answer the gigantic things like what's going on with Wes and this incest thing and, you know, are more people going to die? What's going to happen with all this? Aaron says Frank had 3 cuts on his knuckles. Bonnie put 1 small Band-Aid across them, meaning both ends of the Band-Aid would be on 2 of the cuts. That's when you knew the Band-Aid was going to be important. Yeah, didn't it, like, fall off his hand, right? Yeah, definitely. That's how she got the DNA, right? Yeah. Bria says you think this episode would have been a lot better if we dived into Hannah and Sam as kids, not so much about Sam cheating again. Okay, now, I still don't love any of this plot, this storyline that's going on. But hey, yeah, maybe kind of give us a background episode, flashback, kind of like when we got the stuff with Bonnie and her abusive dad, like showing what kind of abuse that they endured or whatever as kids. Still, I don't know how you can, and I know no one here is trying to, but, you know, obviously they were abused or whatever, but still, how can we excuse the incestual relationship? All of this is just a lot. I really don't like incest within a show, especially when it doesn't really seem to have a purpose or doesn't make sense. And I really think that they just went with this whole theme for shock value. And you can do all kinds of stuff for shock value on a show, but if it doesn't make sense and if it just doesn't fit, and I feel like in this instance, it doesn't fit in. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add anything. It makes people feel gross. It makes people disgusted. And it made people hate this episode and hate the way the show was going. And I don't think we needed it. I really don't. So we don't know, as Doja is saying, what happened to Laurel's mother, which I feel like is a pretty big hole in the whole plot line of the story. Because what happened? I mean, I think we all assumed that Laurel killed her, but we need to know that, really. Is that going to be in the next 2 episodes? I don't know. Hilda says you don't like Michaela's dad, but he did warn her that Connor would look out for himself, and that is true. I just, I have trouble trusting her dad. Again, I don't understand, and I feel like we should have found out what was going on with him and Annalise from the past. Will we find out? I don't know. Like, again, there's just so much stuff to resolve and 2 episodes left. And Yes, as Gregory's saying, this was unfortunately, and I hate that Pretty Little Liars keeps getting brought up in all the different shows. Oh, not all, but some of the different shows that I cover because it's like a tired topic. But Gregory's saying it was definitely taking a page from Pretty Little Liars, with Sam Keating being the new Peter Hastings, for those of you who have seen that. For those of you who have not seen Pretty Little Liars, I recommend that you do not watch that because it's trash, okay? Starts out okay, then turns to complete and utter trash, which is actually more trash than this show, but you know. Jada says Michaela is no dummy. Remember, she's going to be president one day, so I think she knows that Connor took a different deal and isn't being honest with her. Remember, guys, she's the one that knew that, and I agree with you, yes. Afonso says, you wonder how Frank will feel about this. He technically got both his unborn half-siblings killed, Lila's baby and Annalise's. That's a good point. I don't know. When he finds this out, I really don't know. I don't know if this is going to make him feel suicidal again. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be good. I will say that much. Atachi says, the incest thing aside, making Sam have his own trauma made it interesting of how he related to Bonnie and Annalise. Yeah, you know, I will say this as well, that the fact that they wanted Sam to be such a major character, yet they killed him off so early, is a little annoying to me too, because I feel like that was a little out of place, but I guess all along they planned on having this big reveal, so they needed to keep him relevant throughout the seasons, but I never really liked that either. There's a question I've seen here. Okay, Michael says, do I think Gabriel leaving in this episode will be it for his character? I don't know, because, you know, he's kind of been an important character, you know, in the past couple of years. I guess it's been the past couple of years. So I think it would be weird if that's the last we see of him. I will say that. Hilda says Pete Nowalk's still trying to say that he planned for season 6 to be the last one. He definitely didn't, and this season is proving that. I'm with you on that. It definitely feels rushed and weird and out of place. And this episode, to me, was the worst episode they've ever done. Now, me saying that, I will also say that I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, and I don't know if they're going to be worse, because I could see them being worse. I could see them being worse than this one, and that is terrible. Jada says they probably couldn't get Hannah because the actress that played Hannah season 1 doesn't want to return. Now that, I have not heard that before, but that was actually something that I saw on Twitter a lot last night. People were saying, like, why aren't we doing more with Hannah in this episode? I don't know if it's going to be weird if she doesn't come back, don't you think? Here's a funny comment from Doja. LMFAO at Bonnie having a romance with the whole family. Now that is funny. Disgusting, but funny. Gregory says Sam Keating is the new murderous Laura Palmer. That is a Twin Peaks reference for, I know a lot of you haven't seen that, but that's funny as well. Madeline says they both definitely took a new deal, but you're curious what the deals say. Jada says you heard in a blog somewhere that the actress who plays Hannah didn't want to come back to the show. Hey, she probably didn't want to come back to the show because she realized that the storyline involving her was complete and utter trash, and she was like, you know what? I'm too good for this. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but like, if I was in the show and then someone told me, hey, guess what? Your storyline is that you had sex with your brother like a bunch of times and then you actually got pregnant and then you gave birth to like one of the main characters. So yeah, I would be like, wow, what are you guys thinking, you know? Luke says Laurel has some explaining to do since she comes back next episode. I mean, I really feel like she's just been away trying to be safe with her baby and everything. Now, I think the question that a lot of people have been wondering is, has she been away with Wes and they've just been a family the whole time? I feel like that's where we're going. Again, don't get me started on Wes still being alive, but we saw his dead body. I can't with that at all. I cannot. Megan says, would I rather Annalise be dead or just be a fake death and she goes off somewhere? No, I would rather her actually die. Again, if you want to watch a show where big stars, big characters are killed and it makes sense and you're freaking shocked, then you should watch Ozark. And also, the guy who plays Laurel's dad is a character in Ozark. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So if you want to watch a show that doesn't let you down, where crazy things happen, where big people are killed freaking all the time, but it makes sense, where when they kill people, they don't, I'm sorry, someone's knocking on my door. Where when they kill people, they don't bring them back from the dead. You should watch Ozark. Okay. Gregory says next episode they will parallel him to Lily Kane somehow, I'm sure. Bria says you really hope the next episode dives right into the trial. You don't care about anybody else's storylines besides Annalise and Wes's and maybe Laurel. At this point, I'm really hoping they just kill a bunch of people in the next 2 episodes and just try to do something to salvage the show. Like, I've been saying this all along. Kill some main characters. Let's kill some people. Let's make it shocking. I know they killed Asher, but then they had to have a stupid person do it. And by stupid, I just mean it's just this. No, why can't we just have someone that was like important to be the person that killed Asher? I agree with Gregory that this show is going to end in a train wreck. I tweeted today, I think I've already said it here in the chat, that I feel like we're going down the path of the Dexter show finale. I think this is going to go up in flames. I think that the finale is going to be trash. I'm really sorry because, again, it was a show that had a lot of promise. It was a show that started out strong, but they've just made some dumb decisions over the past couple of years to include things which I guess they were just trying to get a shock out of people. But honestly, like, literally, some people can get behind the Wes thing, the thing that they did with Wes. Some people can get behind the fact that I think some people could even accept that maybe he's still alive or that he has a twin or whatever they're going to do. But I'm telling you that people did not accept last night's episode. People did not accept this incest. They don't accept that Frank is the baby. People are not happy. And again, if you are happy with it, I don't want to make you feel bad. Like, I don't want you to feel like you can't speak out about it. I'm actually looking for someone to say in the comments that you liked it and, like, why did you like it? Not because, you know, we want to roast you here, but just because, like, I'm just trying to figure out if anyone did like it, and I would like to know why you liked it, okay? I mean, I'm so ramped up about this. I feel like I'm back in the PLL days where I'm mad at these dumb decisions. I'm gonna have to rip someone's face up or something in the next, like, couple of videos. I just need to calm down. I just need to take a moment. Amira says, you think Hannah blackmailed Wes into faking his death since his confession to the police in season 3 was going to implicate her son? Yeah, it could have happened. But what do you guys think about, you know, Hannah being like this big villain? I hate that. Rob says this season is rushed. Yeah, I think that they really didn't want to end it here. I think, you know, they didn't get renewed. And all of a sudden, things are just kind of being, like, to me, this episode just felt like so thrown together. It was, like, so super boring, but then at the end, it was, like, supposed to be, like, all, like, oh my God, shocking, you know? And I think anytime that you have incest in a show, it's always going to be hard no matter what. That is such a hard topic to get people to accept and to get people to, I'm not saying it can't be done and be done well and work in a show, but 9 times out of 10, when that kind of storyline goes on, it's just the people that are the writers are just going for shock value, and the audience never likes it. Also, I think what was hard with bringing this incest in now is the fact that we knew Sam for such a long time, and they waited a very long time to bring this out. If we had known from the beginning maybe that he had some childhood trauma, and I don't know, I'm feeling like it's a really bad time to bring this up at this point when we're almost done with the show. And I also think that it just wasn't needed at all. We have other things, you know, we have the West situation. There's other things we could have done. I don't care. Even if it was, honestly, let's be real here, if this was planned from day one, I still don't feel like we even needed to go with that plan. Like, I think we could have talked about it. Like, if you guys are with the show, like, at the writers' meeting, I feel like we could have had a discussion about it and be like, hey guys, we planned this incest storyline. We made a couple of, like, very subtle hints that no one will really remember or care about. But let's not go with this anymore. Let's scrap this idea. You know, I'm sure they finished all this in 2019. Like, hey, now it's 2019, and when we're looking back at this, it doesn't feel right. Let's get rid of it. Now, I don't know what they have planned for the next 2 episodes, but maybe they're heavily, heavily connected to this reveal. And maybe they were, you know, been planned for so long, like since day one. So maybe my thinking is just wrong here. And maybe they can't get out of the hole that they've, you know, dug themselves in from the beginning, being dead set on having this stupid incest thing. So I don't know. Maybe there's no way to salvage it, but I'm kind of feeling like, I'm just feeling like we deserve better. I don't know. Why am I so bothered by this? Why does it bother me so much? Okay. Madge says the Frank thing was messy. Yeah, totally. And you know what? I actually kind of like Frank. And I think like the last thing that he needs to hear is that he was a freaking baby of incest. No one wants to know that, and he's going to find that out, and that's just so wrong. He's had a lot of issues, and yes, he hasn't always been a great person, but that's going to probably, can you imagine if someone told you this? That's going to destroy you. And I don't care if you were like a model citizen and you had everything going for you and you had no issues and you find that out, you're going to be destroyed. And he has a lot of issues. He can't handle this, you know. Alexis says, you're so mad and grossed out. I am so mad. I just don't understand why we had to do this, why we had to go with incest. You know, yeah, Jada says we don't accept it because it doesn't make sense and we weren't building up to this. And I think that's really true. Again, I think if somebody is dead set on putting incest in their show, I think, yes, I think you can make it work. But I think it's such a polarizing topic. I think it's probably one of the hardest topics to try to insert in a show, especially making it about main characters and stuff. I think that, you know, you really got to know what you're doing. You really have to have a very strong show if you're going to try to incorporate that in there. And they have not really had a strong show for a while. And then this very much feels like they've thrown it at us. But I do think it's funny that people with the show are trying to say, you know, we've been hinting at this for a really long time. No! Did anyone ever think that this was going to happen in this show? And just the fact that it did happen and we're all shocked did not work for them, because no one is sitting here like being shocked and being like, oh wow, they totally got me there. This is cool. This is awesome. Because you can shock people in so many different ways on a show. You don't have to go there and bring it out of the blue. Okay, I'm going to read more comments. I know I've missed a lot of comments, so just comment that again if yours was from a couple minutes ago. Gregory says they just went to Jolta since they're on their way out, right? Because it's over. I mean, this show to me is kind of like over, and I feel like it's just, there's just no hope. Yeah, I'm going to watch the next 2 episodes. Yes, I'll be here doing these chats, but I think it's really sad. You know, if it was a terrible show from the beginning, then if they just wanted to throw it away with all this nonsense, then okay, whatever. But it was a really good show. I remember the first season. I just loved it. I thought it was so good. I was so happy to have found the new show that was, you know, just really well put together. And it's, you know, I think that's why I get upset, because it just makes me sad that it had to come to this. Ralph says it's a pretty gross thing, but definitely not Frank's fault and really had no choice in the matter. Definitely this is not Frank's fault whatsoever. I just think when he finds out the news, you know, he's going to feel like we feel, but like on a different level, because it involves him. And I just think knowing that you were a product of incest is something that kind of like destroys people. I hate to say that, but I don't see any other scenario. I don't know how he's going to be okay. We're probably never going to know how he was going to deal with it or whatever, because, well, the show is almost over. Doja says, how did Vivian get from being an unstable drug addict to being a trustworthy person? Because they have to rush all these storylines through, because they had to throw this incest in here that I guess they planned on since day one. So that's how, I guess. Madeline says, you think it's ridiculous that Nate and all the kids are trying to take down Annalise? Like, all she's done is help them. They better pull something out and help her. You're so annoyed with the kids. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think some of them view her as like, you know, they're almost like they've always tried to turn it around and be like, she peer pressured me into all of this, when at the end of the day, you know, everyone's an adult and you made the decision to go through with whatever crimes you went through, you know. So, the fact that she's always, not that she's an innocent person, but the fact that it's always like, well, Annalise made me do this, or Annalise manipulated me to do this, is a little silly. Now, if they were all children, yeah, maybe so, because, you know, children can definitely be manipulated and thought, you know, made to think things and do things that they shouldn't do. But these people have been adults since they knew her, so. Hilda says, so is Frank like Annalise's stepson? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hilda says Alfred should never have come back. They really used him for ratings and clout, right? I hope they're paying him well. That's all I have to say. Itachi says you hope Frank doesn't die. That's the one person I don't want to die. And I know he's had like a checkered past or whatever. How many times have you used the term checkered past in like normal speak? Probably never. I don't think I've ever used it, but hey, I'm using it now. But you know, he's not an angel. Nobody's an angel on this show, but I don't want him to die. Ralph says Vivian used TV detox, cured in 2 to 3 episodes, or your money back. Right. Basically, they just had to flip the script on her to make it work for their new script that I guess they've been planning since day one. So, oh yeah, it makes total sense now. Bria says, usually when someone dies, we have flash forwards. They haven't had any as far as for her funeral. Again, I still don't understand what the Annalise funeral is. Is it a vision? Is it a dream? What is it? Does she actually die, or is it someone's dream? I kind of think it's someone's dream or vision or something. That's another problem area for me. I think wherever that storyline is going with this funeral is not a good place. BC says Oliver is kind of an angel, which makes me really suspicious. Yeah, I've been suspicious about him for such a long time. But we're kind of at the point now that I don't see them going there with that storyline. But then again, who knows? Who knows? Who am I to say? Gregory saying Nate is teetering in the brink. You're surprised he didn't fully snap. Right, I just keep expecting him to die. I really, really do. I mean, this is getting funny at this point, which I guess is better than being mad. I mean, I'm not really mad. Like, my day is going to be fine. But, you know, I am mad in a way because we've spent a lot of time on this show. And I don't like when people just give up. I feel like the writers have given up. It just makes me like, what the heck? Like, you know, I saw a lot of people tweeting that that their time was wasted last night. And that's a bold statement because literally most everyone is stuck in their houses right now. And I know maybe some of you are essential workers, so that's amazing. But I know not everyone is stuck, but literally we've got nothing but time. So if you're telling someone involved in a show that, you know, they wasted your time, wow, what a statement. Because, I mean, I've got like all the time in the world right now, so. But I was bored to death. And, you know, I was really kind of excited, even though I have my doubts about this show. I was excited about this episode because, well, they played it up a lot, even though I kind of thought the incest thing was going to happen. But, yeah, I was like, wow, this is so boring when it started, you know? Madeline says, you hope Frank and Bonnie run off and live happily ever after. You love Frank, and if anyone is going to die, you hope it's not him. Yeah, I am all about them being together. Maybe that'll be one bright spot in the show. You know, she's had so much trauma in her life. He's obviously had so much trauma. I think they're good for each other. I really do. Jada says, also, how did Annalise get pregnant from the 88 days that Hannah was out of school her senior year? I'm with you on that. So they were looking at Hannah's report card and they noticed like she'd missed a bunch of school and apparently she had mono. And then Annalise was like, do you think she was pregnant? Like, I thought what Tegan had to say, I think she was trying to say like she's a senior and like seniors skip a lot. To me, that kind of made some sense. But I do agree that the fact that it was assumed that she was pregnant was just like bizarre because when I saw that, I wasn't thinking that. Hilda says Annalise literally helped Laurel and save baby Christopher. You want to say she won't turn. I don't think she will. I really don't think she will. Jada says bye to Nate. Yeah. He can go. I'm done with that. Ralph says for the finale, Baby Yoda will jump out of Annalise's coffin to say hi. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, honestly, the world that we live in is the craziest world ever, and literally nothing that happens in the real world anymore shocks me. So let's just keep that theme going for this show, and let's just make it totally crazy and totally irrational and just off the rails for the next 2 episodes because, hey, it wouldn't surprise me. Flames ask, am I mad that Frank is Sam's kid? Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so stupid. I think it's just an unnecessary addition to the show that was already struggling. And someone's asking how I feel about the big reveal, and I felt, because you're just joining, hello. I'm so sorry you have missed my rants upon rants upon rants. Rants on rants on rants. Yeah, so I hate it. I hate it so much. Yes, trash. Okay. Luke says for the finale, the synopsis says we will find out who killed Annalise. Uh-oh. Was that a spoiler? I don't know. And it also said the actor who played Wes will guest star. Also, the finale is not 2 hours. Okay, so interesting. T. Parker says no matter how this show ends, it will never top PLL as having the worst series finale for a mystery show. I think you're right there. I want to think you're right. I'm a little worried, but let's see. Jay Ivy says, why was there so much focus on Bonnie during Sam and Hannah's reveal? I guess because they're trying to say that, like, Bonnie and, yeah, I don't know. Bonnie and, Frank, I think they're trying to put them together at the end of this. Maybe have, like, one happy moment at the end of this show. Like, actually have them together. I don't know. I didn't mean it like that. Together, like, married or whatever. Together forever. So, hold on. Let me find some more comments here. Alfonso says, at this point, what do you want the West deal to be? A live dream or old Christopher? I don't think it's possible with the old Christopher theory that I know a lot of people have. I don't want any of those things to happen. I want it to be like a dream, and I want him to have really died. Well, I guess a dream. Sorry. I do want that to happen. I don't see that happening. But I wish none of that had happened. I still don't understand why we killed this person off. None of that makes sense to me. I have such a problem with that too. So that's what I would change. I wouldn't have killed him off. What good did it do to kill him off? Okay, can anyone tell me how that advanced the show in any way? BC says, what do I think Laurel will say in the next episode? I don't know. I feel like there won't be a lot of drama with her. I'm hoping not. Because I really think she's been in a good place with, like, her baby and, again, probably Wes, and I think things have been okay for her, but I don't know. But didn't she kill her mom? Should we get back to that or not? Or maybe we should just forget that. I don't know. Hilda says Sam made moves on Bonnie when Annalise first took her in. Yes, that's true. That is true. Jada says it was a cheap red herring. I think I missed something there. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so if I missed your comment, I know I missed a lot of comments, so just re-comment. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, like Hilda's saying that the West death was for shock value. But here's the thing. If you did want to kill him off because you were, obsessed with going there and you wanted to shock people and that's the reason you did it, can we not just leave him dead? Do we need to bring this man back? Why? And here we are with 2 episodes left and we still haven't even talked about him. So why is it so important to bring him back if you haven't even bothered to mention, that he might be alive or whatever, and we only have 2 episodes left? Luke says, honestly, Laurel made a smart move just disappearing from all of this mess. Yeah, I mean, I think she needed to for the safety of her baby and everything. And Jakey says they definitely ran this show into the ground. Yeah, it's really sad when you think about it. I've seen it happen a lot with shows. Sometimes shows that are really good just start failing and they just get worse and worse. And then a lot of times the final season is very tough for shows, even shows that have been doing well up until that final season. And a lot of times they fail on the finale. Even really great shows sometimes have the worst show finales ever. So I think people overthink it or whatever because there's so much pressure for that to be such an amazing episode because we're ending the whole series, and a lot of times it's like the pressure is too much and the show just the episode and the show, they just end in a bad place. Atachi says Wes's killer was a stupid decision, also so stupid because it was such an irrelevant person. Megan says it seems they killed Wes off to get people to be like, wow, this is such a good show because they actually kill off important people. But, like, he's still so important to a good bit of storylines. Right. I still don't see any, besides maybe, hey, shock value, I still don't see anything that the show benefited from by killing him off, because he was such a big character and none of it has made sense to me ever. And whatever they come up with to explain the fact that he didn't die or whatever, I don't think that's going to help their cause either. So, Jay says you think that happens because they do not keep the original writers. So that's another thing. But I believe Pete has been with the show since the beginning, but correct me if I'm wrong. That show finale was trash. And I used to really love True Blood. So it happens, you know. Ralph says it would be cool if they were all wearing masks to mirror what's going on in the real world. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they filmed this last year, or maybe fortunately, but I don't know how things are going to change with TV. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot because, you know, masks are getting ready to be a requirement in my state in a few days. And I know they're already a requirement a lot all over the world. And, like, I've just been thinking about how they're going to film stuff in the future. Like, when the cast is out eating or whatever in whatever scene, are they going to have them, like, walking the streets in their masks or something? Because like that's our real life now, so it's kind of going to be weird if the shows don't reflect that if they're filmed in current time. I don't know how long we're going to have to wear the masks, but I feel like it's going to be a while. So I'm wondering how shows are going to try to reflect the current state of things. You know, I'm interested to see that. Brad said that 6 Feet Under, which is a show I've never watched, had a great series finale, and that's awesome because, you know, I think that means a lot when you can get a great show finale. I thought Breaking Bad had a pretty good finale. Itachi says True Blood had terrible baiting in the show as well. Friends was a good finale. I'm not a Friends. I haven't watched Friends either. I know everyone loves that. There's like a lot of big shows out there that I have not ever watched, like The Office. I've never watched The Office, and people, when I tell them that, people are like, what? So it's kind of weird. As much as I like TV, there's actually been quite a few big shows that I've never seen. Just haven't watched. Madeline says, do I think Annalise will be found innocent or guilty? You're hoping innocent because she technically committed most of the crimes they're trying to convict her of. So you're hoping she's found innocent or you're hoping she's found guilty? I'm trying to think if I care. I think she is somewhat guilty. So I don't think she's totally innocent. And I think in the real world, I would hope that she would serve some type of jail time. I don't know where they're going to go with this. I guess they're killing her. I don't know. But I think she deserves to be in jail for a while. I'm just going to be honest here. Jada says, you don't think Annalise will actually die? You think it's just in the summary because they don't want the spoiler to be there? That could be. Jakey says the show really could have had an amazing final season. There were so many questions to be answered that could have been tackled beautifully. I agree. Absolutely. Gossip Girl I used to watch all the time, and I just kind of got busy with life and never finished it. It wasn't because I didn't like the show, but apparently people hated that finale too. I do know who Gossip Girl was revealed to be, and I won't say who that is, and I was like, oh. And I think people were not happy with that reveal, so yes. T. Parker says you can definitely see Ryan Murphy taking advantage of this pandemic and using it into an American Horror Story, 9/11, and American Crime Story. Agree. Or is that 911? I'm probably saying that wrong. Agree. Has anyone watched his new show about Hollywood? I heard that it was pretty good. Madeline says, Annalise technically did not commit all of those crimes, so you're hoping innocent and her and Tegan can be happy somewhere. I would be happy if her and Tegan got together. I know a lot of people want that to happen. But we'll see. I don't know if it will or not. I feel like they've kind of hinted at that. Also, what happened to her boyfriend from the last episode, or her boyfriend? Is he gone already? Like, what was the point of bringing him back? Are we going to do anything with him again? I don't even understand him at all. Like, I haven't understood him at all for the whole season that he's been in. Okay, does anyone have anything they'd like to say or questions or whatever that we have not discussed yet? Michael's asking, have I watched or heard about The Good Wife? Yes, I've heard that it's good. So I'm just trying to finish up Ozark now. I'm like really into that. So that's what I'm doing. But after that, I'll probably be needing some new stuff because I'll probably be home for a while. So I have heard that's really good. So anyway, sorry for the rants, but that's just how I feel and how I felt last night. Not really super surprised that this is ending this way. Actually, I am a little surprised. I didn't expect it to go off the rails this much. This is way too much. Like, I didn't expect it to be good, and I didn't expect to like the show's finale, but I wasn't expecting them to get this crazy. Let's be real here. Jada says there wasn't a good reason for Wes to be dead, and that was when the show started going downward. Absolutely. Wes was annoying, but they didn't have a good plan for his death. Right. I don't think that the show has been benefited at all. Not one bit from him dying. Nothing good has come out of it, and now they're in this situation where they have to decide Well, they didn't have to be in this situation because, again, if they wanted to kill him off for shock value, we should have been done with it. But they feel like for shock value, once again, because I feel like that's all that they can do anymore, they have to bring him back to life or say that he never died. It's just making a bad storyline into a worse storyline. Simona says I should watch. I know Killing Eve is something I really probably need to watch because so many people have told me to watch it, so I really do think that I would like that. Will the governor's storyline be resolved? Asked Ralph. It should be. It's something that's still, prevalent in the episodes, but I don't know. Gregory says, well, the show now should be renamed How Not to Get Away with Murder, right? But I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys are doing well in quarantine and getting through this time and staying safe and healthy. So we have 2 episodes left. I'll definitely be back to rant on those because I expect fully to be ranting on those 2 episodes in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for talking to me about this today. It definitely helps me get out my thoughts and anger about this episode, and it's been fun to share that with you guys. If you're watching this after it aired, then definitely comment because I'm looking forward to more comments from people who weren't able to be here today, and I will be replying to your comments as well. So, and if I missed your comment, this will be up on my channel in like 10 minutes, so go comment there because I am able to respond to all of those. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you soon for more How to Get Away with Murder drama. Bye, guys.